Hi friends, this is Bakappa. So far you have seen how to perform CRUD operation in A/B testing. That is nothing but how to create a get API request, put API request, post API request and delete API request. In this chapter 2 API testing tutorial I will discuss firstly negative scenarios. With respect to this we will create a few negative API requests in the Postman. Then I will discuss how to declare and use environment variables. Then we will see how to save the response of any API in the variable so that we can use that particular variable value in the further APIs. Then I will discuss how to use the Postman console for debugging any issues in the API. Then we'll start creating the automatic API tests in the Postman. Then finally we will assert status code response body contains any specified string. Then I will discuss how to assert the response header. Then finally I will discuss how to assert the response time. So let's start discussing the negative scenarios. With respect to that, we will create a couple of negative API requests to the Postman. The first scenario is record not found. When we are requesting a record which is not there in the server, we will get the record not found with the 404 status code. And the second scenario is when we are passing invalid characters in the request body. So that time we will get the 400 error with the bad request. And the third scenario we have is when we are passing many characters. For example, there is a one field as a mobile number. So we have to pass the only 10 digits. If we are passing the more than the 10 digits, so definitely server will not accept it. So in that case also we'll get the 400 status code with the bad request. And the fourth scenario we have is we are sending API request with the missing information. For example, that particular request API request body should contain all the fields. For example, that contains the first name, last name, date of birth. If you are not sending any one of those field, so we will get the bad request error with the 400. And fifth scenario we have is we have to send the data in a proper format. For example, date format is there. So in that particular field, we have to pass it properly. Let's say, for example, first month, then date, then year. So we have to pass the data in the required format. So otherwise, we will get the 400 error with the bad request. So let us go to our Postman and we'll implement the few negative API requests. So here what I will do, I'll go to the negative scenarios folder, and the first scenario I will create by using the get request, get booking details. I'll simply duplicate this particular API request and then I will drag this copy of the get request into the negative scenarios folder. Then I will rename this request as get booking details invalid ID. So in this API we are passing the invalid booking ID so that we will get the 404 error with the not found. So that's it. So here I will pass any of the number, some random number. So that's it. Then I will send it. So if you look at here, so we are getting the 404 error with the not found. So this is one of the negative scenario by using the get request. So similarly we will use the post request. Then I will duplicate this request. So in this post request, what we will do, we will pass the invalid characters for one of the field so that it will fail with the bad request. Simply I will drag this particular request into the negative scenarios folder. Then I will rename this request with invalid characters. So I'll say cas. So that's it. So I'll go to the request body now, and here for the total price, I will pass some special characters. So right now there are some numeric values are present. So I will replace this with the special characters so that our request will fail. So that's it. Only one field value I have updated with the invalid characters. That's it. Then I will send it. So if you look at here, so this particular API is failing. So we got the response from the server with the 400 and the bad request. So this is how you can create the negative API requests. So for example, you can pass here for example, if there is any restriction, first name should contains the 10 characters. So in that case, you can pass the 10 characters or more than 10 characters, and also you can enter the special characters in that particular field, and also you can specify the spaces in between the strings and check it. So these are the other set of negative scenarios which you can test it if this particular API is implemented with the proper restrictions for the fields. So that's all about the negative scenario creation in the negative scenarios folder. So now let's discuss how to declare and use the environment variables. So I will go to the post request, that is a create booking. So here we are passing the first name as a testers and last name as a top. So I will pass this first name from the environment variables. So what I will do, simply I will go on the right side top corner. Then I will click on this particular icon. So then I will say add. Here we can specify the environment name. So here I'm giving a booking API. So that's it. Then here you can specify the variable name and the respective value. You can specify it on the initial value column. So here I'm specifying the f name, that is nothing but first name. Then I will specify the value as a testers. That's it. So let's use this particular variable in the create booking API, and we'll get the value from the environment variable. Then we'll create the booking, right? So we have created the variable and we have specified the value. Now let's see how to use that particular variable in your API requests. So here I'm selecting this particular string, then I'm entering two curly braces, and inside this you need to specify the variable name. So in our case we have given the variable name as f name, that is nothing but first name. So simply I'll save this particular environment details, then I'll close it. So make sure that after adding the environment variables, so you are selecting this particular environment name over here. So if you are selecting the environment details, that is nothing but the environment which you have created, where you have specified all the variables and respective values. So after selecting this particular environment only, you will be able to read the respective value by using the variable. So this is how you can read the value from the environment details, right? So I have specified the variable name and I have selected the environment here, so that I will get this particular f name as a testers in this particular first name, so that I can create my resource in the server. So let's start creating the resource in the server. If you look at this one, so we got the 200 status code, and also booking ID got created here. And if I can check this particular booking ID by using the get booking details, so we got the response successfully, right? So if you look at this status code, we got the 200, and also first name we got the testers, right? So this is how you can set the variable value, and you can read that particular variable in the API request. So let's add the last name also. So I will go to the environment variable, and here I'll add so before I go ahead and add it, so you need to click on this edit, so that you can include as many as variables you want. So here I'm adding another variable as L name. So here I'm adding the last name as Tom. So that's it. You can save it. and let's go to the create booking API. So similarly, I'll enter the two curly braces, and inside that I can specify the L name, so that that particular value will be read from the environment variables. So that's it. So this is how you can read the value from the environment variables. So let's create the resource in the server. So this got successfully created. Let's verify the details. Going to the get booking details. So here you go. So we got the 200 status code, and also first name is a testers and last name is a top. So this is working fine. So this is how we can automate. This is how we can parameterize. You can specify the, you can create the variable and you can specify the value, and you can read that particular variable wherever you want in your API request. Now I will discuss how to save the any API response in the variable, so that we can use the value of that particular variable in the other APIs in the request body or in the request URL. So we have the create booking API. So this will returns with the booking ID. So let me hit the send button now. So after creating the booking, so we are getting the booking ID here. So by using this booking ID, we are checking the details in the get API by passing the booking ID or in the URL. Also we are using in the update booking API. So we are going to update the booking details. Also we are using that booking ID in the delete booking for deleting the resource from the server, right? So let's go to our create booking API. So firstly we have to save this particular value, booking ID value, in the variable. Then we will use that particular variable in the get booking details, update booking and delete booking. So what I will do here, I will go to this test tab. So here we have to write simple 2 lines of JavaScript code that will programmatically create the variable, and also it will set the value. So on the right side you can go down and you can select the option as set an environment variable. So that's it. And after that what you need to do is you need to use the pm dot. So this particular object contains current API request and the response. So that's the reason I'm using the pm dot response. So we want to save this particular API response data into the variable. So that's the reason I'm calling to the response. After that I will convert this API response into the JSON object. Then I will assign back to the variable called JSON data. So that's it. So by using this particular JSON object, we can read this particular value, that is a booking ID value, right? So here I'll specify the JSON data object, that is a JSON object, and after that I will specify the key. So by using this particular key we can access the respective value, and after that here we can enter the variable name. I will specify b underscore id, so that is nothing but booking ID. So that's it. So currently if you look at this environment variables, we have only two variables, that is a f name, that is nothing but f first name, and we have another variable called l name, that is the last name. So after executing this API, this JavaScript will create the another variable called b underscore id, and also it will set the respective value also. So let us hit the send button now. So we got the 200 status code, successfully it is got executed. Let's go to the environment variables now, and if you look at here, so this particular API created the b underscore id variable, and also it is assigned the respective value also. So now we have created the variable and also we have assigned the value by using the simple JavaScript. Now let's read the particular value in the get booking details API. So here we are hard coding that particular booking ID so far. So let's pass it programmatically. So here I'm just specifying the b underscore id, and after that, so inside the two braces you can specify the variable name. So that's it. So it will turn into the orange color, that is nothing but it is reading the value from the environment variables. So that's it. So similarly, I will do it for the update booking API. So here I'll pass b underscore id in the two curly braces. Then I will do it for the delete booking API also. So that's it. So now once again I will execute the create booking API. Right? So we got this particular number. So we got the booking ID also, and I will hit the get booking details. So we should be able to get the respective booking details now. Right? Here we got the all the details. So let us try to update something in the request body of create booking, and we'll verify whether we are getting the proper details in the get booking details. So here I'll go to the body tab, and here I'll update this particular value, that is a total price as a 1000. Then I will hit send button. So resource got created in the server, and let's hit the get booking details API now. So let's create one more request. I will just create another booking now, and I will verify it. So this API got executed properly. That is a post request. So now let's try to execute the get API. So this will get the details of the any booking details by taking the parameter as the booking ID. So if you look at this one, so whatever the value we have updated while creating a booking, we got that particular value. That is nothing but, so it is working fine. So let's do it same thing for the event token generator also, so that we can execute all our APIs. So this particular token generator returns us the token ID. So this particular token will save into the one of the variable. Then we will use that particular token variable in the update booking API, and also we'll use that particular variable in the delete booking API also. So without token we can't update any booking details, and without token we can't delete any booking details. So that's the reason we are going to save this particular token in the one of the variable, how we did it for the booking ID. So similarly I will do it for the this particular token. So I will go to the tests tab here, and here I will set the environment variable. So here I will select the set an environment variable, and before that we have to read the API response by using the pm dot response. Then we have to convert this into the JSON object. Then I will assign back to the variable called JSON data. So by using this JSON data variable, then I will, after using this particular variable, that is JSON data, I will specify the key here. So that's it. So here we can specify the variable name, that is the variable key. It can be anything. So in my case, I'm specifying b underscore token. So that's it. So right now, if you look at this environment variable list, we have the only 3 variables got created. So after executing this token generator API, so another variable will be added to the environment variable list. So I will hit the send button now. Then I will go to the environment variables. So if you look at this, b underscore token variable got added, and also respective value also you can see it here. So it is ending with 757. In the response also you can see that the same value is present here. So in the update booking and delete booking, we are using this particular token in the headers, right? So I will go to the first update booking API, and here in the cookies key and respective value we are specifying it. So similar way how we are accessing the environment variable data. So similar way even we can specify the variable here also in the two curly braces. So that's it. So similarly I'll do it for the delete booking API. I'll go to the headers. Here I'll specify the b underscore token. So that's it. So previously we were entering manually this particular token for updating the particular booking details or whenever we are deleting the booking details. So now everything we have parameterized it. Now let's execute all the APIs one by one. And also I will go to this particular folder before executing all the APIs. So here also I will parameterize the, so I don't think we can parameterize anything here. So in the first scenario, we are simply passing the some random number. And in the second scenario, we are passing invalid data in this particular field. So that's fine, no issues. So let's execute all the APIs which are there inside the positive endpoints. So this first API, get booking IDs, this will returns all the booking IDs. So we got the 200 response code, that's the status code. So it is working fine. So let's create the booking now. So it is working fine with the 200 status code. Then we will get the respective details by using the get booking details. So we got the response and we are able to see the 200 status code. So let's use the token generator. So token got generated, and so this time in the update API, if you look at this particular body, so we have the first name as SpecFlow and last name as Selenium C#. So if you look at the previous API, get booking details, we have the first name as testers and last name as Tom. So after executing this update booking, so first name and last name will be updated there also. So let's execute this API now. So it is got updated. Let's check the get booking details now. And here also you can see that first name is updated with the SpecFlow and last name is updated with the Selenium C#. And update booking API also it is working fine. So let's execute the delete booking API also. So it is also working fine. We got the 201 created response, right? So this is how you can save the any API response in the variable, and you can use it in the further APIs. Now I will discuss what is Postman console, why we have to use the Postman console. So over here you can see in the downside on the left side you can see the console. You can click on this console. So this Postman console will be used when you think there is an issue in the API request or in the API response. So that time for debugging purpose we will be using the Postman console. So this Postman console contains list of API requests which you have made it in the Postman tool. So these are the set of requests which we have created so far, and you can see all the requests by timer wise also. You can see at what time which request got executed. You can go to this on the right side, you can click on this three dots and you can select this show timestamps. So on the left side you can see the timestamp for each API request. So you will get to know at what time that particular request got executed. So here every request contains all the details. So whatever the details you have specified over here. For example, we have created a booking by using the post request. So this particular post request has the network details, request headers, request body, response headers, and the response body. So first two details, that is the request headers and the request body. So these details and the type of request and the URL. So these details are provided by the client only. And the last two, that is a response headers and response body. So these two details will be coming from the server, and those details will be displayed in this particular Postman console. So that's it. Then in this Postman console, you can even clear all the logs by clicking on this clear button. So let me create another request here. Just I'll create the one booking. So after hitting the send button, here you can see that request. So what is the request we have created and all the details over here. So first we will have the network details, followed by request headers, request body, response headers, and a response body. And also we can copy all the details which are there in this Postman console log by clicking on this particular icon. So here you can see that copy all logs to clipboard. you can select this particular option, or you can click on that icon and you can cross verify with your API request. So if you look at here, so this particular API has all the details. So what are the request headers, and what is the request body it has sent, and what are the response headers, and also it contains the response body. So basically whatever the details are there over here, so all the details will be copied and you can use it for maybe future purpose. And also you can maximize this particular window, that is a console window, Postman console window. You can click on this icon, so this will opens up the separate window, and you can maximize this window also, and here you can verify all the details. So when we are having a multiple API request or many API requests, you can maximize the console and you can debug every API request. So this is all about the Postman console window. Now I will discuss how to verify the status code. Response body has the specified string, response headers, and response time of the server. And so far we were validating all the things manually. So now let's discuss how to verify all the things by using the simple JavaScript. So here I'm using the create booking API, and I will come to the tests tab. So here I'll write a few lines of code by using the automatic JavaScript generator. So on the right side I will come down. So let's verify the status code first. So here I'm selecting the status code is 200. So after hitting this particular create booking API, we are getting the 200 status code. So that's the reason I have specified here the 200, and this is a test name. So here I'm specifying the test name as verify status code is 200. So that's it. So right now in the test results tab, you're not seeing anything, right? So I have added one test, and it has the one assertion that is validating the status code of the API, right? So let's execute this API, and we got the success response, that is a 200 status code. And if you look at this particular test results tab, and it is showing 1 of 1, and also you can see here our test got passed because we are getting the 200 status code. Let's say if I passed the 201, so this time this test will be failed, right? Because status code is 201, but we got the 200. So that's it. So this is how we can add the status code validation for every API in this positive endpoints folder and also in the negative scenarios folder. So let's do that first. So we have done it for the create booking API. Let's do it for the get booking details. So here I'll go right side. And I will select status code is 200, and I'll say the test name as verify status code is 200. Then I will execute this API, and also our test got passed. So let's do it for the get booking details API. So now I will go to the tests API, and here I'll add the status code is 200. So that's it. So I will execute this get API request, and also I'll verify the result, and it is got passed. So similarly I will do it for the token generator. So here I'll select the status code as 200. So that's it. I will execute the post request of token generator, and also our test got passed. So similarly I will do it for the update booking API. I will go to the tests tab. So these are the very simple JavaScript. So no need to write a complex code here. So all the code is available over here. Just you need to select the proper command here. So that's it. So I will check the test result and it is got passed. So let's go to the delete booking API now. I will go to the tests tab. So that's it. So if you look at the status code of the delete API, delete booking API, we are getting the 201. So that's the reason I will specify the 201 here. And I will go to the test results and that particular test got passed. So we have executed all the APIs which are there inside the positive endpoints. Now let's go to the negative scenarios folder. We will assert the status code now. So let me execute the get API now. So after executing, we can assert the status code. So we got the 404. So let's go to the tests tab and here I'll select the status code. Code is 200. So instead of 200, I will specify it as a 404. So that's it. So I will execute the get request once again and I will go to the test results tab. So our test got passed. So let me quickly update this one as well. So here we are getting the 201 in the delete booking API. So that's it. So we have executed the get API inside the negative scenarios folder. So let's do it for the post API also. So here we are getting the 400 error, right? So let's assert this 400 status code in the tests by using the JavaScript. So here you can select the status code. Code is 200. So we are getting the 400. So I will add the 400 over here. So you can give the test method names, tests name, meaningful names you can provide to these tests. So right now I'm providing the just dummy names. So that's it. Let's execute the post request and let's check out the result. So this is getting passed, right? So we have executed all the APIs inside the booking API collection and all the tests are passing. So now I will go to the create booking API. So far we have discussed how to assert the status code. And now let's discuss how to assert this particular API response contains the any specified string. So let us assert this first name is containing the first name is having the testers as a value. So let's assert this response body contains the testers or not. So similarly how we have added the status code validation, we can add the response body validations also. So here you can see that response body contains string, right? So simply you can click on this one and here I'll specify the method name as verify body matches string. That's it. So here you can specify the string. So which string you want to search in this particular response. So I wanted to check whether testers is there or not in this particular response body. So here I'm adding the testers value here. So that's it. Now I will execute this create booking API. So previously only one test was there. Now we have the two tests. First one is a status code validation, and the second test we have is response body has that particular string or not, right? So let's execute this API request. So it is showing 2 of 2. So the first number is indicating the total number of tests is getting passed, and the second number is indicating the total number of tests or the total number of assertions. So I will go to this test results tab now. So here you can see that our 2 assertions are getting passed. So now what I will do, so I will add the assertion for validating this headers. So we will validate the content type and respective value over here. So we'll verify whether this response contains the content type as application/json semicolon and char set equal to utf-8. So if it is coming different value from the server, automatically this particular test will fail. So however, we have added the status code validation and response response body string validation. So similar way we will add the response header validation also. So you can click on this response headers, content type header check, then so simply you can specify the comma over here and you can specify the value in the double quotes. So first one is a key and next one is a value what we are validating in the response headers, and I will add the verify content type is present. So that's it. So let's execute this create booking API now. So if you look at this test results, all the assertions are getting passed. So now the last one, that is a response time validation. So this particular assertion will be adding when we are checking the response time of the server for any API request, how long that particular server is taking to respond to the request, that is a API request. So let's add the one more assertion, that is response time validation. So here you can see on the right side, you can click on response time is less than 200 milliseconds. That's it. So here I will specify the test name as verify response time is less than 200 milliseconds. So currently it is taking 1556 milliseconds. So we are asserting for the, it should be the below 200 milliseconds. So it should get failed. So let's verify this assertion now. So if you look at this one, so we have the total 4 assertions. Out of that, 3 are getting passed and 1 is getting failed. That's the last one. So actually the server response time is total 8589. So this is a response code. So let's specify the 10,000 here. This particular response time, I am saying it should be less than the 10,000, right? So if I execute this post API right now, so all our assertions should be get passed. So if you look at the result here, 4 of 4. So all the test assertions are getting passed. So this is how we can assert the status code and response body, content type, and also response time. Let me summarize what we have discussed in the chapter 2 of API testing tutorial. Firstly, I have discussed how to create the negative scenario API request. Then I have discussed how to declare and use the environment variables. Then next I have discussed how to save the any API response in the variable, and then how we can use that particular variable in the any other APIs. Then next I have discussed how to use the Postman console for debugging any issues in the API. Then finally I have discussed how to create the automatic API tests by using the JavaScript. So there we have used the assertions. By using the assertions we have validated status code, response body, response headers, and also we have verified the response time. So this is all about the summary. You can click on like and also share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues. Also you can comment in the comment section if you are having any issues or queries. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial.